Good afternoon, everybody. Another segment of Frankly My Dear. Gonna do my week one power rankings. Like I said, man, it's kind of hard just doing it off of 1 week because a lot of surprises happen in that first week. But I just based this list based off of performances, based off of just what I saw from some of the teams. Some of the teams aren't as high as they could be based on their performances, but I still feel that some of these teams are the 10 best teams still right now in the league after week one. 10, so I'm going to go from 10 to 1, dive right into it. 10, it was between the Falcons and the Steelers, but I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Connor ran great. Of course, they ended in the tie with the Browns, which is horrible. But I still feel like the talent that they have, the production that they were able to get in place of Le'Veon. The issue was Big Ben, but Big Ben is always horrible on the road. Y'all know my thoughts on Big Ben. I said them in a previous video. But I think at the end of the day, they're still one of the 10 best teams in the league. They still have Juju, who played good. Still got AB, who played good, and they still got Connor. So they still got a nice little three-head monster. Of course, I saw today they took Le'Veon off the depth chart officially, so who knows if he's going to play at all this season. But, of course, I put him at 10 because I know they still have the talent and ability. But that was an ugly loss they took. But I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. They can easily next week explode if they play at home. So I got the Steelers at 10. Number 9, I got the Green Bay Packers. Man, people who know me, man, know I have constantly said that the Packers have done Aaron Rodgers a great injustice throughout his career. Besides the Charles Woodson addition, they have done nothing to help him defensively. Aaron Rodgers will die. The Bears looked impressive. Honestly, if you took away Aaron Rodgers, the Bears had the more talented team on both sides of the ball, in my opinion, and they were showing it at first, But of course, the bad man is Stephen, who I hate Smith, say, he had his injury, he came back, and he put it on him, But I don't want to discredit the bet. I don't want to discredit the win because I feel like the Bears are going to be a decent team this year. Not a fan of Trubisky, but from a talent perspective, I feel like they do have just as much talent as the Packers. But at the end of the day, the Packers got Aaron Rodgers, okay, arguably the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. And when you have him, you're always going to be a top 10 team. To be honest, you're never really going to be out of the game with the best quarterback in the game. So, the Packers still have some holes on their defense, but we'll see how it goes. But I got them at 9. At number 8, I got the Carolina Panthers. Panthers, it's hard. I would have had them a little bit higher, but, they still weren't as great offensively, and they still are looking for that number one threat. And, of course, Olsen broke his foot again this year. So who knows how long he's going to be out. He's out indefinitely. The offensive line does have some injuries, but they got it done. And they still won the way in which they always win. They grinded it out. Cam didn't have a lot of yards, but he had some good runs. They ran the ball. They controlled the game. The front seven dominated, which I think they're going to dominate a lot this year. I feel like it's the best front seven in football. They played the Panthers way. That's how they play, The Panthers, they going to beat you up. You're going to lead that game. You're going to be sore. You're going to be bruised because of the way they play on both sides of the ball. They're an old school team, okay? So then number 7, I got the Jags. Jags won an ugly one against the Giants. But to me, when you can win those types of games, those ugly games, when you win the games where you're not at your best against a talented Giants team, in my opinion, who I think is more talented than people giving them credit for, on the road, and weather wasn't the greatest. The Jazz got a good win. Now I know Fournette has the hamstring injury, but the defense was still great. The offense, Bortles, he didn't lose the game, and that's all you can ask of him right now. Similar to the Panthers, they play a similar style, just control the clock, play good defense, and don't turn the ball over, you know. And Cam, I mean, not to go back to Cam, he didn't turn the ball over much, and Bortles didn't turn the ball over much. So I got the Jazz at 7. At 6, and I wanted to put them a little bit higher, the Baltimore Ravens. I noticed the Ravens in preseason. I know it was preseason, but the Ravens, to me, Flacco looked great. I feel like he knows pressure on him to perform this year. They have some underrated receiver threats, and John Brown, Willie Snead, Michael Crabtree. All of those guys are guys who have had success over their careers. Never been a dominant number one, even though Crabtree technically has been a number one before. But they've all been guys who are professionals, all guys who can produce, okay? And they showed it. I know the Bills they're horrible, worst team in the league, worst quarterback in the situation in the league. So, I mean, I know some people, it's kind of hard to judge, but I don't think it was a fluke. I think that's who the Ravens going to be this year. The Ravens defense has still, despite what people may think, they have still been good for the past couple of years. They're just as strong this year. Ravens going to always be hard to beat at home. The energy that they bring when they play at home, but they got a defense that can travel. And I got the Ravens, man. Ravens, I feel like they low-key a dark horse Super Bowl contender, depending on how Flacco plays, man. They really do have a lot of talent, and they got a good head coach, and they got a good defense, and they showed it when they beat the hell out of the Buffalo Bills. Next, number 5. Would have put his team a little bit higher, but I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I'm be honest, I can't stand the Patriots, but they beat a very good, very talented Texans team. Even though it was at home, Brady played like Brady. Gronk played like Gronk. It showed that the demise of the Patriots was greatly exaggerated. They outcoached, of course. They gave Deshaun Watson fits. And they just played the Patriots way, as they say, okay? And they just signed Corey Coleman. They got the best coach in the league, so it's hard. I would have I thought about putting the Patriots even higher, but you know they had a good performance, you know, and even they say they don't get a pass rush. They actually generated a pretty decent pass rush on Deshaun Watson this weekend, even though that line is a little suspect. But I got the Ravens at 5. At 4, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now I know Nick Foles is the quarterback. And honestly, they don't have any outside. They don't have any receivers, to be honest. They don't have any receivers. But they have a stable of running backs. They have a great offensive line. They have a great defensive line, decent secondary now, decent linebackers. The Philly is still stacked, you know, and that was a tough win. They grinded it out against a explosive Falcons offense, albeit at home. They grinded it out, toughed it out. The Philly gonna always beat you up. They gonna always bang you up, and they showed why they're the defending Super Bowl champs till proven otherwise. Number 3, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. That offense is reminding me of the year when Vic was in Philly and they had Macklin and Deshaun and McCoy, and they was just explosive. You couldn't do nothing with them. All right. Defense, they still got some question marks. Hopefully Eric Berry comes back soon. But to go to the Chargers, even though that's a weak home field, still to go almost cross country, midway cross country to beat the Chargers, who a lot of people have penciled in as a possible Super Bowl favorite, and to beat them, to get up on them early and pretty much have them playing keep up the rest of the game, you got to give them credit for that. Andy Reid always shines early in the season. Always puts his guys in best position to perform at the best of their abilities, and he did that again. Tyreek Hill, superstar. For people who watch football, who are like real football fans, in my opinion, Tyreek Hill's already a superstar. You know, people outside of football might not know him, but he's one. They still got Kareem Hunt. Mahomes looks like he has star potential, and the Chiefs look real good, man. Number 2, I have the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, to me, put on the overall best all around performance to me. Everybody know I'm a Redskins fan. Not had my issues with Kirk Cousins, but I must admit he looked good in the Vikings offense. The play calling was great. They had a perfect balance of running and passing, perfect balance. They have no weaknesses on that offense. Offensive line a little shaky, but not too bad. Defensively, they have a lot of solid guys with a couple of great guys in there. All of their guys on defense always in position, always do what they do. I got the Vikings at number 2 right now. They were to me the second, actually the most impressive. But number 1, that leads me to number 1. I got the Rams. I know the Rams started slow last night, but you could tell as that game went on, their talent, ridiculous talent they have on defense, the ridiculous talent they have on offense, it started to show, and it pretty much became easy, in the second half. And they looked dominant, man, as the game went on. I think they started off slow because they didn't play preseason, so I think they had to knock some of the rest off. Once they got going, though, man, the protection for Goff, I mean, he's just sitting back there playing, it's 7-on-7. The defense, I don't know what you're going to do against the Rams. Barring an injury, I don't know what you're going to do against the Rams. So that's my week 1 power rankings, man. Y'all let me know what you all think. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment. Y'all have a productive day. 1.